and we have been testing Arsenal since some time now. The mobile version, could say, the only issue we are facing now is it has become a very big app. Yes, it will, because it's a good space taking game. But yes, so we cannot no matter how much we optimize it, we cannot directly go from 2 GB to 100 MB. It has to be big. So that's how we wanted. And so the school, I think we are almost there. But yeah, if you look at the market, how it's behaving now, it's really very bad. Yeah, we need to accept that it's really really very bad. By what happened with FTX, and it'll take some time to stabilize. And we are really actually considering a date when to launch Arsenal. We were actually very much hopeful for launching this week, but yeah, it wouldn't spark of the greatest interest to others, or maybe we wouldn't get enough attention even if we do a good amount of marketing. So we'll wait a bit. As the most important thing is for us to make sure the community knows that we are building, and there is a proof of, because until now we couldn't provide exact appropriate proof of Arsenal Mobile, but now most of you can confirm that it's there, and I've been playing it a bit. So that's intact, and when we go live, we should be going live in a very good way. And meanwhile, we can also already start working on the iOS side to to compensate the delay. Yeah, looking good with that. And once the mobile version is launched, we will solely entirely focus on the revenue model, because the development time took so much time. The revenue model is as important as the development time, because that's how our user base will grow. The more the revenue streams, the more players will get attracted to it. And recently, something very nice happened. We were contacted by IndieGG. IndieGG are now supposedly the biggest gaming guilds on the blockchain, and they are directly supported by Polygon. They have the biggest user base, and the words that came out of the team of their team during the meet really pleased us. They say that they have been playing a lot of Web3 games, and they were actually really looking for an FPS game, and they did encounter quite a few, but they say that this is the perfect match we've ever found. And also commenting on our revenue structure, it's not really very vigorous for the users, wherein yes, you come, you earn a lot, and then you get out. It's just a stable income, which is designed for a sustainable future. So yeah, so on the Arsenal side, we're pretty cool, going well. There are of course lots and lots of improvements need to, not improvements, but updates, and more things needs to be improved. Sorry, introduced. So that will come in time anyway. But yeah, looking really very well. And just for you to not forget, the contest is still on. For your chance to win the 100,000 USDT grand prize, and some of you have already won the individual prizes, which is the welt for finding individual symbols. These will be distributed once we have all symbols found out, and we declare the 100,000 grand winner. Along with that, we'll also send out the welt to the respective winners. Uh, yeah, so and parallelly, we are working on two more games. You already know Fanworld, of course. Our target was to launch it on 20th of November. We're trying our best to deliver it on that day, but yeah, it can be here and there. Please do not, be harsh on us. And then the third game being called as H2O. The board design should be finished this week, and we should be already integrating the entire structure into the game, but without the blockchain. And then once the game is, the water physics, the board physics, and everything works really, so if it's really synchronized and work well, we'll go on to integrate blockchain. And we are going to have a bit, could say, I mean, it's still sustainable, but we will have a bit of more giveaways on the board game, because the playing time is not as long as Arsenal maybe. So this is why we want to, have the ratio of your playlist. You earn equivalent to what you do. So it will be on the mobile applications, and yeah, and also working on new designs, sorry, new ideas for more mini games, which will be followed by H2O. Yes, so very cool, and something very nice. I did speak about interacting with different blockchains, but while during this period of time, while interacting with different blockchains, we have also encountered something very cool, that every new game we are going to launch. Uh, for now, let's say Arsenal is on Polygon and Binance Chain. So if we want to move to Avalanche, it is really exciting for them. But if we launch a new game and move to a new chain, of course, we are going to bridge to, let's say Polygon, Binance, or whatever is demanded by the community. But let's say now, I'll give an example. We partnered with Myra, and Myra is a very brilliant project. It's a very well structured company. So Myra is a typical gaming L2 layer solution for gaming concentrated focus. Sorry, L2 layer solution on Ethereum. So it's similar to Polygon, but their focus is more on gaming. So we spoke to them of launching the H2O game, which is the first mini game on their chain, and they were very excited about it. So we are going to have a nice collaborative meet with them on how to do. And when such kind of thing happens, so we get a lot of support from the other chain as well. Like if we would have launched on Avalanche before Polygon, I mean, if our first launch would have been on Avalanche, then Avalanche would have supported on a much larger scale than they would do now. So yes, so we have the support of Myra, and this is not officially out yet, but we have been speaking to a chain called as Dogechain, which it's not linked to Dogecoin, but then could say there are some kind of synergies with Dogecoin and Dogechain, and recently Dogechain was in fact trending on CoinGecko for a couple of weeks, just before the FTX thing happened. And with Dogechain, we have very nice, could say, plans. Those plans cannot be talked right now. Will be known once we sign the official documents, and once we decide everything upon. And so yeah, so such kind of encounters are really very cool to have. And I also mentioned you Red Light Finance, something very good is coming with them. Hopefully I'll be able to give you the good news by the next AMA. uh, yeah, so since we stopped our focus on collaborating with gaming platforms, the diversification in looking into other projects which can bring on the use cases has really yielded us a lot many things. uh, but also we are also focusing on gaming platforms. We have not totally ignored it. Like today we encountered something very brilliant, and cannot talk about it right now because we did not sign any NDAs. So should be, I mean, we should be meeting them this week, and they are just brilliant. So hopefully, we can have a collaborative stuff which can yield to some more brilliance. And we were talking to the advisors today. So the advisors were asking us, what is your go-to strategy in this market? So it's very simple for us, just keep building. And we have seen, if we build well, even if we don't see we do have seen results even if the market was bad. But even if we do not see results now, we are so very much ready when the market is ready to give us back, with the patience we had and with the developments we did. It is something like preparing for the examination. The dates, it's after a month. You can study, you can prepare for it from today, or you can prepare it from a night before the exam. Both can yield results, but if you start today, it is guaranteed that the results will be good. So that's what we aim for. And Yeah, the more I mean, more things to come. We did a partnership with Quest. They have a very brilliant platform. You know, it's something like what we did with Spin Tops, Rainmaker Games, but they have something very cool. You know, wherein the users will be incentivized for the education they do in terms of Fabwelt. Like for example, you go on to answer a question on Arsenal, and if it's correct, you get tokenized, or you get incentivized. So with the term of incentivized, you know, in the last AMA, somewhere someone asked, "What do we have for gamers?" So the yeah, we took that into consideration. Yes, we do have for gamers, and we have been always saying that it is a gaming platform. Sorry, non-gamers. It's a gaming platform, and we want to have for gamers. But yes, so since you know this question has been raised more than like 5, 6, 7 times that we want something for the non-gamers, so we are coming up with a very cool thing with the project, and it's going to be a Twitter campaign. We'll give you a nice demo video of it. It should begin on Thursday of this week. So how it works is it's kind of a protocol which will be implemented on our website. I don't know what it would be called, but let's say it is called Twitter Rewards. So basically, when you click on that, it will direct you to the Twitter page of Fabwelt, and then it is your choice. You know, any news or any tweet or anything good that we have done, if you like, you have to retweet it and mention us, and that will be recorded by a backend app which is directly linked to your account of what you're doing. And then depending upon your task of what you have done, you will be incentivized with well tokens. So this is, I think, it's a very nice thing for for the ones who really actually wanted to, have. I mean, who are not actually gamers. So yeah, you just go retweet our tweets every day, and then it is your choice when you want those. When you want to claim those tokens, you have to go connect your wallet on the same portal, and you can just claim your tokens, and it will be dropped into your wallet directly. So we are not going to transfer you. So yeah, you shouldn't be waiting to claim. You just go claim it, and the wealth is yours. So very cool thing again. And we'll start with Twitter, and the campaign will be also carry forwarded to Discord in couple of weeks. And yeah, to be honest, our Discord is a bit weak, and we have to focus. We have to, have a very good focus on Discord in the coming days, because since being a gaming platform, Discord should be our strongest social platform. Uh, yeah, so the this is what I wanted to share with you people. And there is also a very urge to onboard more developers, full stack developers, game developers, modelers who do the modeling of the game, and increase the team size, because with the introduction of mini games we have a bit of more load, and all the ongoing third party projects, etc. So the team will grow before the end of this year. We did already, as I said, we did already hire a few developers last month, and was a really good hire, because Arsenal Mobile paced up because of them. So yeah, we'll expand the team and try to deliver much faster and more stuff in, let's say, from next year, because this year is almost done. So that's it guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, I'm all ears. Please do ask. Yes, people, any questions, please? No questions? No one wants to say anything or want to ask?
Hello, Abby. Good evening.
Yeah, hello, hi.
Yeah, Abby, I would like I just would like to confirm if we will having a countdown for the mobile release.
Yeah, we will have a countdown. I mean, yeah, most probably we'll have a countdown. Did not actually think on it, to be honest. And we'll also, do something very cool with the mobile version for the community. And try to engage and try to incentivize, try to create a lot of content around it, and obviously there'll be some at least basic marketing done on like on the release of mobile version. Surely. Papa, we are, to be honest, we are almost ready with the mobile version, but the sentiments are really very bad. So we'll just allow the market to settle down and let the trust gain back, because no matter what the inventor of cryptocurrency has said, that and that proves in that eight pages of white paper that we have to move to decentralization. But what we people have done, we people have, including, let's say, everyone in this call, including myself, we have, not trusted, but we are still sticking to the centralized versions. People want us to move to Binance, people want us to move to KuCoin. What nonsense. What will that yield? Let's say if we were on FTX now, there are many tokens which are on FTX, we would have been dead. Solana came down to almost, being not recognizable. Like if you see Solana 3 months ago, what was it? Now people are not talking about Solana anymore because of one central stuff going bad. So yeah, so people need to realize and understand, it's not only about gains, it's not only about easy cashing out of funds, it's more than that. But yeah, the world has become like that, my profit, my stuff, my life, rest everything is gone. Yes, so once that's done, and once the realization happens, actually it is a very positive thing. But we are getting exposed to such stuff. Very sad to people who have lost funds. But then yes, if we do not stick to the basic of the very miracle of blockchain being decentralization, we are going to have this thing coming to us every year and every now and then. So Papa, let it settle a bit. Hopefully, it'll take a week or two, and then we should be good with the mobile version.
Yes, Abby, I totally agree. As a tester, I always playing that Arsenal mobile. I'm always playing also with the PC users, and as a mobile users, I think we can able to level with those PC users, which is good. And yeah, we will wait, and we are excited to launch the game. And
Yeah.
lastly, once we release that one, it will be on Play Store, or we have that one as APK in our website.
Yeah, initially it will be Epic on website. We are working on, we have applied to the Play Store. There's a very small issue with getting listed on the Play Store, and it's actually really very irritating for us. And we are trying to fix that. It's so small, but the fixation is taking like a hell of a things for us. So yeah, it will be available as an APK on the website. Just one more step for you guys, and then very soon we'll be on the Play Store and then eventually on the iOS Store.
Yes, that would be great. Because as I noticed, I think minimum 100,000 download once our Arsenal game will be live in Play Store. So it will be huge, especially for the user base. So we're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
excited.
yeah. No worries, all good, man. And Papa, we have seen where you play Arsenal. You play Arsenal everywhere, man. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, even Colin Bulato is here. Him and his son, they are always playing Arsenal. So
Yeah,
that
I
would be.
know he's a match guy too, always playing Arsenal, and he bought a new phone. Thank you so much, Colin. I do not, I go on to meets and I talk to many people, and they ask me how many users do you have, and if we compare with the best ones or the global ones, comparing to that, we are almost zero if I compare. But I take so much pride to say that we have so and so players, and we have these number of players. But if you look at our players, you go and you take us to any tournament, I can challenge you that even we might lose, but we will lose with dignity. That kind of players we have, that's more than enough for us, and in numbers will grow anyhow. And thank you so much for the support. Really means a lot to us. I'm personally showing these pictures to my friends. See how is it going. So it's really very cool, that this support is enough for us to move forward.
Yes, and community will always support our Fabwelt. So
Uh, yeah,
happy with
man.
that.
I'll tell you, if I remove all the professionalism out of what I'm talking on, but we have been looking especially during these bad times, we have been looking at many, many projects out there, and with time passing, we are, I do not know what will happen, but on the basics, or on the strategies, or let's say on the idea of how we are developing it, is looking really very good for us. But I hope what I'm saying is what is going to be, and we do not see anything unfortunate happening. So touch wood, and yeah, good for us and good for the community. Yes, people. Yeah, I spoke a lot. Any more questions? Anything to ask, please?
Yeah, hi.
Sorry. Yes. Hi. Who was that?
Hello.
I didn't.
So, what sort of fan weld games are there about to come?
And sorry, what all Fabwell games are about to come? This is your question?
Like, what kind of games are there in Fanwelt app, or
Oh,
bundles of games
Fanwelt
are
is a game. It's not a kind of a game. It's a game. It's a sports fantasy game. It's a game developed by Fabwell Studios. Yeah, I know the name is a bit confusing, but fan means fantasy and world means world, so it's a fantasy world of sports. And if you are also asking what kind of games we'll develop in the future, so there'll be all kind of games, not only one. So we started with FPS, fan built sports. If you see the mini game, it's a racing game. But let's not consider the mini game. So we are going to have an RPG game as next. Then there'll be racing games. There'll be all kind of games. So that should cover everything. Did I answer your question, or yeah, you can ask more multiple. All right. Thank you so much for the question. Any more questions, people? Everything cool? Everything good? We can also discuss about anything else. It doesn't have to be Fab Build. I also get bored sometimes talking about only about Fab Build. We could discuss anything else. You want to talk about the market? You want to talk about maybe a game idea that you have in your mind? Anything.
Please share your views about market.
It was again Indigo. Was it you?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. So market. This is the craziest year crypto has ever seen. Since it was introduced, people have seen the biggest crashes. But what is happening in this year never happened before. So this is very, very new, and even if you ask the biggest of the analysis, they are not able to predict. But on the macro level, I mean, if we have to talk about market, the primary thing we have to talk about is Bitcoin, because the dominance is the highest of Bitcoin. So, of what we see, according to me, the cycle repeats every 4 years. It can again gain back or whatever, but I see the market gaining back again in 2024, somewhere in the Q4 2024, and will enter into a super bull cycle. But you never know, as I said, this year no one has ever predicted this year to be like this. And but yeah, so if you actually go on to technical analysis, so I see the cycle repeating itself every 4 years. So 2024 is what, and until then we'll see, small, maybe, lower lows, or small pumps, but again, wandering around the 20 to 30K level, or maybe even down if the recession is hitting really very hard. To be honest, we are already in recession. I do not know when the actual one comes out and there is a crash. And if there is a crash, it will be very tough for crypto to keep it up. But yes, so I do not see crypto as a value. I see crypto as a technology. A technology doesn't depend upon what value it brings to the market in terms of economically. But yeah, so it is trying lot many issues at the same time. So yeah, we are here to survive. This is my belief. Yeah, if BB were here, BB would be saying, "Nah, the bull cycle is not so far. It can be easily in 2023." Yeah, he can be correct also. But I'm just talking based on what was the past and what we have seen until now. But yeah, so as I said, that this year was very, very new. Next year can be something very different also. And if we see such kind of scams coming out every now and then, to be very honest, the community will lose trust on this very soon, because they were trusted people, FTX, and let's say Luna, and whatever happened this year, all people, they like millions of them trusted. So yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. But whatever it happens, whichever protocol or whatever thing on on the chain is decentralized, they never go, wrong. Yes, the hacks will happen. Stealing, hacks, fraud, and all those stuff are part of internet. That's what internet brings to us, and we just have to focus on making the security so good that it is very difficult for the hackers to go in and just steal our funds. But apart from that, it's a very safe technology, so the market should stabilize in some time. But until then, some people say DCA, some people say put all in your money at the lowest dip or whatever. So it's your choice. According to me, you should be DCAing. That is the best and that is the safest. And just try to learn and have your list. If you really want to be invested, or if you're a trader, you can choose your projects also, and just learn the charts and move forward with it.
Any marketing plan about exposing Fabwelt Arsenal game?
you know uh, yeah, yeah, I'm not a very big fan of marketing. Yes, marketing does gives you a lot of exposure, but marketing on the chain takes a lot of energy in terms of financial resources. uh, I'm gonna name. I'm not gonna name the project, but this project started 4 months ago. It's not very known. I'm just giving us very small example. They raised about 2 million, and they finished their game. Everything was cool, and now they have nothing left, and they are actually wanting to sell their company or someone to take over the company. Like in matter of 4 months, you diluted 2 million of your cash. So that's only because of marketing. So that's what crypto marketing does to you. So yes, the marketing should be done. I'm not saying don't do at all, but if that is possible, then you are building something very, very great. Because if you see, Bitcoin was never marketed, and Ethereum was maybe very least marketed. So the product speaks for itself, and if you're building something very, very good, you actually do not have to market it. It markets itself. But since the gaming side of crypto has been very, very clumsy right now, with thousands of games coming into picture, we need to market a bit, so that to make the community understand that, look at us at least. uh, for now, the plans are very basic. To be honest, we cannot, we, even if we want to, we cannot spend a lot of marketing or go bonkers on marketing. But the time will come when we already have very big plans to for each specific games, and for the platform as a whole too. So yeah, just wait for some time.
In terms of graphics, how would when we will be at par with the game we played in Play Stores like Call of Duty?
So yes, nice questions. Nice question. I say this to many, many. Like, we are, we say we are the so-called AAA game makers, but we are actually not. I mean, yes, we can, but right now, if you see, Arsenal, yeah, Arsenal is a very, very cool game. I mean, according to me, on the chain, it's the best FPS game. And sometimes when I say this in public, people think that I'm trying to boast it. I'm being a bit, too much, but it isn't it. And we have got similar responses from others to match the level of Call of Duty. We will do it. We will surely do it. We are going to move Arsenal to Unreal 5, which is a very nice platform to, to demonstrate good games. But for now, like when we started Arsenal, it was on WebGL, and it was about a 1 GB game, and we faced a lot of issues of lagging and stuff. Now Arsenal on PC is about 9 GB, I guess, 9 or 10 GB, and we have gamers who have not complained about it, but we do have gamers who have complained about the size. So if we are going to match the size of Call of Duty, sorry, the quality of Call of Duty, the game will be much much larger than this, at least 3x of what the size is. And we have not seen a lot of gamers trying to play on PC because all the Web 2 gamers are still playing, let's say, Call of Duty or Valorant or etc etc. Until we are able to educate most of them and would want to come on to play our game, we should be ready with giving the competition to all those good Web 2 games. So that's the aim. So slowly we move up, and we try to take in suck in that it is in fact real, rather than just giving boom. And yeah, so that's the plan. And with the upcoming games, of course, the quality and the level of gameplay will be much higher than what we introduced with Arsenal.
So that's the size, maybe the challenge. I got it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing else, only the size, see, to be honest, also, including the size, the team which was involved and the company which was involved in building Call of Duty, they have like one of the best resources out there. And I'm not actually very much sure about the number, but I think so, about more than, I can be very wrong, yeah, but it was above 120 developers were involved in building Call of Duty. So there are many other games where there are 300 to 600 developers involved in building the game, and we are not that big. But still, I'm claiming that we reach that level. If let's say Call of Duty was built in 1 day, we could take 10 days. So that can be only difference, the workforce. And once we have like good enough funds, we are going to have a team of 100 for sure someday on the development side, and then you will see the results much faster.
Uh, Considering the last 3 or 4 decades of the gaming, okay. So
Uh-huh.
I just remembering there is a game we first play in the phone, in TV, PlayStation. In normal gaming, the name of the game is Doom. I think if you know.
Yeah, yeah. Doom,
Okay.
I know.
And then Sonic Saga, PlayStation. The history of gaming. Uh, have you, if the team of our ecosystem has already done any scientific research that what things in a particular game that release such a dopamine effect that it got famous? Okay, so every decade or every 4 or 5 there is a famous game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you get my question.
Yeah, very, 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 very nice question. Everything is about how interesting you make the game. Sometimes the game itself is very, very small. Let's say, what was this Flappy Bird or something like that, which got very famous. Because you talked about dopamine. That is one of the one of the secret ingredients for gaming, to attract audience. So we try to, yes, we have done a lot of research on that part, and of course we have done. This is why we ended up in building a FPS game, and it was no brainer for us. uh, so there are a lot of game styles, to play the game, but there are, most of the famous ones are, you say, uh, racing games or RPG game or FPS games. What they do is they try to, use your fantasy what you have already as a kid, or even now, if you watch all those Marvel movies or DC movies, they try to make you fantasize as a gamer of what you want to do in your mind, and which you cannot do in real life. That they bring on to a picture wherein you can play, and you can, maybe feel that even if you can't do in real life. What crypto does is it gives you one step forward. You can feel it, of course, but you can also be that character, and you can own that character. That I've said it many times. This is why, even if the level of the gaming is not too power of web 2 gaming, but still it is very joyful, since you can own those characters and you can trade those characters or more to it. Now, if I talk about research part, that is very important, and every project has to do. Now, let's say we introduced the mini game H2O. There can be, but I did not find any good water game until now on the chain. And if you really do and go, please do send me the links, because we are humans, we cannot research so much that we have time for every project. But we did not see a good water game, and not especially a game like H2O. So that was a result of research, and there are I do like playing water games and water races. If you see, the user base of water games is not as good as, let's say, NFS, because the controls and the rush on of driving a car on road is much higher than driving a boat on water. But there are many users who are water lovers, like the founder itself himself. He was a sailor, so I said, let's do this, and it is not only a racing game; it will be much more than it. So that is one result of research. Now you see, Fanwelt was part of, let's say, 5 6 years of research. We were scaling down, and we were redesigning it so much that we experienced it ourselves, and that the word what you used as dopamine, Fanwelt has many features which will allow you to come back and play it again and again. And that has resulted in, to be honest, personal experiences. So such thing we always do. And research is, in fact, leads to innovation, and we believe in innovations or inventions, and that will only allow us to be different from the other projects, or maybe ahead of the other projects.
Will team allow us to play these games for only members only, for the community members, so we can also experience and share our true experience?
Yeah, so we have a close testing group. This close testing group is selected based on some basic factors. We do see some kind of very, very heartily commitment, and some of them are present in this AMA. And yeah, if you really want to be in that group, maybe sometime Papa will be able to. Papa Dex, who is in the call, he is the gaming strategist for Fabwelt, and he'll be able to lure you in if he really sees that intent that you really want to test and help us. Then you can come into that close testing group. You'll get the updates before the community gets it, and of course, your valuable feedback is appreciated. And sometimes we also do want or like to incentivize for it. And in the coming future, we will do on a very high scale. And yeah, for sure.
Oh, I'm done for today. You may continue.
No, I'm done for today too. If there are other questions, you people can ask. But thank you so much, and go. I think we started the AMA of giving away RoboWelt. RoboWelt is an NFT with a utility wherein you'll be able to earn 50 times more, sorry, 51.5x times of wealth you earn in normal times. Like, let's say you're earning 1000 wealth. If you hold this, you'll earn 1500 wealth. And after a long, long time, I'm able to declare it that someone has won it. So after the AMA, please DM me your Polygon wallet so that we can drop you the reward. Was a nice session. Thank you so much for asking such great questions. So
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
let's
I will
move on.
definitely support the project also. And
Yeah, yeah, sure, man.
yeah, sure. And you just said in recent AMA that Avalanche is really going to support us if we have initially uh, build our game on their chain. So are we in planning it to add this chain also?
Avalanche.
You said just
Um,
like this. Instead of
Yeah, yeah. No,
going to
you're
Polygon, they
you're
must have supported us more.
you're talking about Avalanche, right?
Yes, Avalanche or just you said Avalanche or another chain. So I'm missing.
Ah, okay. Of course, we'll add Arsenal and any of our games to many other chains. Um, we are working on 3 4 chains now to add Arsenal onto. But yeah, we are being a little bit greedy, to be honest. I shouldn't use this word, but to go on to any chain. Uh, yes, we need the chain to function, but if we go on to, let's say, Avalanche, they get more utility to the token because we are deploying our games and they don't have to do anything. So the greediness is we are trying to have a terms between the chain before we deploy on them. Like, for example, with Polygon, it was they are going to support us for the lifetime until we exist or they exist. And with Binance Chain, we couldn't have anything. We did not speak to them. Now, let's say Red Light Finance, we are going to them and we are going to get a very extensive support from them. Doge Chain, we had a agreement because they are going to support us extensively. With Avalanche, we are very close to them, but we did not come to an agreement until now. This is why we did not deploy. But with Avalanche, we are planning something very cool also, which I cannot reveal right now. So that is going to happen anyway. So every chain that we feel it's good for our world games, first we'll have some kind of agreements. Why not? If you are doing business in this kind of market, we need to get the most out of it. So yes, so yeah, there'll be many chains to be added in the coming future, and also we are working on our own chain, which is the World blockchain, which should be only gaming centric, and we want to eliminate all the anomalies of a blockchain right now. Like with Avalanche, sometimes the gas fees goes to $6 7, and it just we do not like that as gamers. So yeah, there we are.
Yeah. Sure, sure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Abhi, good evening.
Yes,
Sorry, I have a question.
yeah, please, man. How are you?
I have a question. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. So, since
Yeah.
the market went down and it
Mm-hmm.
won't be a good time for the mobile release to go, does it mean that we are not gonna have the release before the World Cup or during the World Cup? And will
You're
there
talk-
be a tentative date for the mobile launch?
you're talking about Arsenal, right?
Yes, yes. Sorry.
Okay, so what does Arsenal has to do with the World Cup? The World
I
Cup is
thought.
related. The World Cup is related to fan world. So Arsenal
Okay.
will.
So that's fun. Well,
Yeah. So with fan world, we actually, I have to admit this. We slipped a bit. We did not do really well. I wouldn't say it is on the development side, but like you take any fantasy platforms on the chain, they have actually followed. There are certain standard protocols they have to follow to avoid legal terms. Otherwise, they would, sue us uh, for some basic stuff like probably this is a gambling platform or whatever. So with FanWorld, we faced this situation. I mean, we were not sued, but our gameplay model and our revenue model is much different than the normal fantasy. This is why the delay happened, and we are putting everything, all the developers on Fanware, so that we should be at least be able to give a beta version of the app on the day of the World Cup. But it can go here and there. But surely during the World Cup, at some point of time, maybe let's say even the knockout stages, Fanware should be totally ready to play. I mean, yeah, play the remaining part of the World Cup. So yeah, you should expect Fanware by the end of this month or maybe start of December or whatever. And with Arsenal, yes, Arsenal mobile version is, I would say it's ready. There are just small tweaks, and we were actually planning to launch this week. So we have to again go on a meet. I have to take a meet with BB. He's not there today, and we have to strategize of how, if we do it this week, will it be good for not only for us, but for the outer community who actually is waiting for, because after looking at the market, some people would be thinking, oh, crypto is dead, I want to go out. And even if it reaches to them, they probably wouldn't down Arsenal to play. It would be nice if they see, oh no, I still want to have some kind of trust in crypto. Let me try Arsenal. So that would be maybe better time to launch it rather than hurrying now and launch it before the sentiments are better.
But with which one will come first? Because you mentioned earlier that
Arsenal will come
there,
first.
yeah, I mean, there's a plan to move from Unity to Unreal Game Engine.
Yeah.
So which one will come first? Will it be the mobile release for Arsenal or migration first?
No, no, no. Of course. First, the relation migration will happen in the later stages of next year. I mean, maybe in
Mm,
Q1 end or Q2 beginning. When we start the third game with Unreal 5, during that time, we'll slowly shift the assets, and the migration will happen with Arsenal.
mm,
Yes, not now. Not now. We are good. Unity was actually not so good some time ago, but now Unity has become very, very cool. If you see, a lot of very good games are on Unity, and the problem with Unity was coming onto the applications. But now even Unity has upped this level on the mobile applications that we can build actually very good AAA games on it. So this is why we are not rushing. Maybe we can match Unreal 5 and Unity in the coming times of next year. But if we don't, we'll move on to Unreal. No problem with it.
okay. Okay, anyway, I have one last question for tonight.
Hmm.
So, BTC went down because of FTX crash, and 61% of Fabwelt volume is on Bitmart. So, how can
Yeah.
we like assure our users that they are safe from such unfortunate event, given that sometimes we have
Yeah.
Polygon issues on the said site? Is it
Mhm.
recommendable to advise our holders or supporters to move their funds from a centralized to decentralized wallet instead?
Yeah. So good question. We can use sexes. Sexes are good for very few things. You buy on sex. If you want to get into fiat, sex is the only option for now. I mean, there are other options also, but the best option is the sex. So what I would recommend is whenever you buy it, don't keep it there. Transfer to your your decentralized wallet, MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or whatever, and funds are much safer than on the centralized exchange. Let's say now you say, I have a good enough profit, I want to cash in. You can always transfer to your centralized exchange, sell it, get into fiat, and then it's your choice. You do whatever you want. So this is recommended always. You can use sex, but do not keep your funds always in the centralized exchange, because if it can happen with FTX, it can happen with anyone.
Yeah.
But no one can. I mean, nobody can ensure that your funds are secure on a centralized exchange because we are not controlling it, and we can
Mm,
only ensure your funds that they are better on a MetaMask wallet because no one is controlling it. But also, they are not 100% secure there too. If you lose your keys, or if you have some kind of malware issues, your account can be hacked there too. But so it is our responsibility to keep our funds safe. But yeah, moving from sex to dex is always much better. And also to addressing your Polygon issues, this is a very tough question, man, because you know we yeah, because we have faced this issue on Binance as well. Binance suspends Polygon very often. So why this happens, sometimes we also do not understand, because the sex says something, but the real reason is something else. But sometimes it is also about maintenance. They are doing maintenance, and they want to stop the withdrawals because there can be loss of funds or whatever. So at that
mm,
moment, probably you'll not be able to sell or withdraw or whatever. Sometimes you have to wait. Yeah. So as I said, it's a it's a new tech. All these small cracks will come here and there. We have to fix it in the coming times.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Abby. I appreciate your answers.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Yes. Any more questions, people? Anything to ask? So if not, we had a very good session today. So hopefully, in the next AMA, I should be able to reveal some good important points, and also should be able to show you more about H2O. And hopefully, we should all be playing Arsenal on mobile already, and with fan belt introduced. Three big things I have said. Uh, so yes, so let's sit tight. Study the market. Let us get educated more, and have a great time. Take care. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for coming. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.